Hello everybody and welcome to another one of our videos. We're going to be doing something a little bit different today, and I think this is kind of be where our direction is going to start to go. We are going to be doing a lot of like Warcry battle reports. I've been really deeply involved with the Warcry community lately. We have a TTS tournament every month, which is really cool. You can check that out on the Warcry Discord, which I will link in the bottom. But something else we're going to be doing is kind of going in the direction of, family, kids, doing stuff with the young ones. This precious little young one here. So hold on to your seatbelts. We're going to get started with something a little different for everybody. All right. So something that happened over the weekend is not we. I went to Adepticon. Anybody who doesn't know Adepticon, it's one of the largest wargaming conventions in North America. I started going last year. I had the pleasure of going this year. Entered into a Warcry tournament. But one of the biggest things that really stood out to me was like how many we got the real psycho is right here, the little dog. But the one thing that really stood out to me is I talked a lot about, Lil Psycho here and how much she's involved with painting with me and wargaming. Like, we play Warcry. I've started teaching her how to play.
I won one game.
She did beat me. We're not going to talk about that, though. But for reference, like, she's 6. And Warcry is something that she's quickly caught on to. But it's something that you can modify to adapt to the people that you're playing with. So for her, like, we played very basic. We didn't do abilities for people who are familiar with Warcry. But it's just like the basic mechanics. And as she gets older and as we start playing more, we can start introducing all the different things. So I thought that was really fun. But everybody that I talked to, they were like, oh man, I wish that, my kid would do this with me, or like I really tried to get my kid into this and they never really stuck. And then once I started presenting this idea of different YouTube videos that I wanted to make regarding that, one thing that just kept popping up is it's a very expensive hobby. People might feel that it's too expensive for their kids to get into. So got me really thinking and brewing and a little bit I'm really thinking and brewing with is how can we get our kids more involved with the hobby without breaking the bank? So what we're going to do today is, Lil Psycho here is going to be working on painting a miniature, which we'll cut over to in a second, and we're going to try and demonstrate how we can do this on a budget. Because yes, Games Workshop, crazy expensive. Not gonna try and teach her, like, I'm going to get you into the hobby by giving you $60 models. We don't want that. So we're going to cut over to our little painting station here, and we're going to do a little bit more talking. So what we're going to do here is, as you can see on our painting table, everything that you see here, minus this, because if you recognize this is a wet palette. Not necessary. I'm using it because I've lost the other painting thing, like, the big circle thing with all the little cups where you could paint the little paints into. That's ideal, especially for somebody of their age, all the younger kids. We're using a wet palette for the fact of this is what I have available for me. You can see the paint range that we have here is called Apple Barrel. This, in America, this is like Walmart, 50 cents a bottle. Yes, you don't want to be painting at like professional level with this thing. These kids aren't professionals. You're really really blurred out there. Don't mind the cough. She's been coughing all day. She's coming down with something, so just cover your ears if it's getting too much. But yeah, we want to use basic acrylic paints, bottom of the barrel, Apple Barrel, to kind of get them into it. Again, you don't want to break the bank because you got young kids. You're really just trying to get them into it and involved. You can see then we have. I'll get to that one. Hang on. Paintbrushes also, budget paintbrushes. You can find them real cheap on Walmart. We don't want them worrying about, the best of the best paintbrushes. You don't want them using your best paintbrushes because they're kids. What are they going to do? The brushes are going to end up getting kind of destroyed, right? So, real cheap, whatever you can find. She's put some work into these ones. That's why they're in the state that they're in. But we do have some better tipped ones. And then handles, as you can see, this is a Games Workshop one. This is just one that I've had for years, so that's what we're using. I have a blue sticky tack underneath. If you search your way around the internet, you could find very low budget handles. I highly recommend for kids having these handles as well because they're going to be touching the model, getting all over their hands. So best way to do it is something that you might find. I've seen like wine toppers and stuff like that. So just make yourself a nice cheap one, or if you have one already on hand, go with that. The last thing that we have to worry about is the model. Again, GW, crazy expensive. I'm not giving you a $60 model to paint.
No.
Not yet. That might be for your 10th birthday or something.
Yeah.
So Bone Reaper Miniatures, and no, I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but Bone Reaper Miniatures makes really great opportunities for painting at a cheaper price. This is part of the Eternal. What is it called? Reaper Bone Elemental Scions. And this is Earth. They do Earth, Wind, Fire, Water. I got this at Adepticon for, I think, $34 for a set of 4. And as you can see, these are pretty hefty. That's a good size. For kids, you want bigger the better, but not necessary because it's going to be really hard for them to get at that really fine detail. If this is a little bit too much to really get your kid into the hobby, that's okay too. Go out to your dollar store, Dollar General, and get yourselves one of these little guys. These are you want to hold it? These are your, little army men that you can get a set of 30 for $1. So this is where she started. Well, actually, this isn't where she started. She goes back younger than that, but I'll get to that too. But this is what she started with when she actually started painting. So this is the little army guys. Go wild, do whatever you want with them, paint them. This is a great start. I say this isn't where she actually started because kind of a funny story is when I first started, I started with the Drukhari army, and I had them out on the living room table, and she comes over. She was 2 or 3 years old. I can't even remember. I had my water cup here, and she grabs one of my paintbrushes. She dips it in the water, and she just starts, painting one of my models. It was nothing but water, but just started painting my models with water. This was my early stage stuff, so I didn't even I wasn't too concerned about it. But literally, she sat there just painting water onto my model. It did nothing to harm my model, but it was getting her involved, working beside me, and just really getting involved. So that was her start, which I thought was pretty fun. And she initiated it all on her own, because she's my dad's sitting here painting. I want to do what he's doing. And, a little bit of water on a Drukhari witch, and that's where it all began. So, what we're going to get started with is here. You want to hold your model? This is the Elemental Scion of Earth. So we have a whole bunch of paint here in front of us. This can be very overwhelming for a kid. You don't want to have all these out there. So what you can do is you start off just asking, what colors you want to paint? What is your favorite color? Depending on the level that your kid's at and where they are with the skills or what their interest is in art. you could just you want to pick out just a few colors to start off with. So you're going with the earth elemental, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So if the kid wants to have a reference to look at, that's a great opportunity. Or sometimes they just like doing it the way they want to do it. As you can see with that little army guy there. Or I have her stuff everywhere. Or she has this ogre again, same company. She has this little guy here who's ready to bash things open. She just did all this stuff kind of how she wanted to. We have not gotten very far. We need to put some work into this guy.
Yeah.
Or you could have a reference. The way this model it has a box as a reference, but we also found something on Reddit of somebody who had painted it. So she wanted to use a reference, right?
Or he's gonna bash someone's head open.
Oh, he's gonna. Oh, him?
Yeah.
Maybe these two are gonna fight. They kind of have the same weapons.
Kind of.
So she's gonna use this reference, and I'll show it up in the corner so we can kind of see. This was done by Guinevere about a year ago in mini painting on Reddit. So we're gonna kind of use their work as a reference because it kind of gives that real earth elemental feel.
She's a vampire.
Vampire. More like a Taurus.
Kinda.
Taurus with vampire teeth?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, again, we're going to get some of this paint off this table. We don't want them to be overwhelmed. We have all these paints. It probably cost me about $5, maybe 10. I think I got like a bundle somewhere. Okay, so what colors do we want to work with? Well, pick them out. Which ones? Here, put the ones you want to use on top of this. Okay, what do we got first? We got a dark green. Okay. What else do we want? Red. What's the red for? What are you going to use the red on? The teeth? Okay, so that's probably like a little detail. We're going to pull that one to the side.
Yeah.
So as you can see, sometimes they need a little bit of help because, like, again, we want to reduce how many paints are in front of them so they don't get overwhelmed. Yellow. Okay, what's this for?
It's for like
the trim?
Mm-hmm.
You got it. Okay, what else we got? Got brown. There is some brown in there. Yep. All right, what else do we want? And all kids want to do things a little bit differently. So for her, she wanted to use this reference so we can. And it's gonna be easier for us to really work with blues. Where do you want blue? The weapon. Okay, we're gonna hold these ones to the side.
These are going to be the weapon.
Oh, these are a lot of blue. We got a lot of blues, different shades of blues. Okay.
And
What's the pink for?
weapon.
You want the weapon to be pink? Okay, so we're gonna do a little.
No, not pink.
Not pink.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do is we have a little bit of reference to the old model, and we're gonna do a little bit of our own stuff. Okay.
You can see I've been working on pink a lot.
Yeah, that's your favorite. That was your favorite color to paint with. You have a lot of pink. I think the little army guy has some pink on him. Sure does.
This is new.
And then do we need some gray?
Yeah.
Yeah, we need some gray for the skin because it's an earth elemental. You want the green. And do we need
I haven't been using the
pavement? Do you need pavement?
Yes.
No, I don't think we need any
No.
pavement. We don't need any red. We'll keep the blue to the side. Okay.
We need
then-
bread. We need bread.
Why do we need
Bread.
bread?
I mean
Well, yeah,
red.
but that's gonna be far into the future.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
So now we have our colors. We got yellow, green, a gray, really big bottle of gray. Oh, 'cause I was like, why do we have such a big bottle of gray? I use it for terrain. I paint terrain with it.
I haven't been using these.
And
I
brown.
need 4.
Yeah.
Some are
Oh, careful!
new.
The camera's right. You're bouncing the camera around. Adults, you want to do the priming first. Get this thing ready. I just used like a regular primer from Walmart. It's super cheap. Yeah, it's got a little bit of shine to it, but that's okay. Hopefully, we'll get some stick to it.
Mhm.
A little bit more shine than I want usually. You could use your own primer, but yeah, if you want to keep this low budget, I wanted to show the examples of using more of the budget brand stuff. So we've got our model painted. primed up, ready to go.
Mhm.
So, first step is we kind of want to paint the inside stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because
Not
it's easier.
this.
Because if you do like this, the skin first or the armor first, and then we try to get into the skin, then it's gonna be easy to paint over that. So we want to start with kind of the bigger things, but like the deeper layers. So let's find a little brush. Help them as they go.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
this is the best option for this one, maybe.
With the crunchiness.
The crunchiness. Here, let me see it. Little crunch. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take this. We're gonna dip it in the water to soften it up a bit. Oh, my paper towels fell on the floor.
Let it drip and paint the lip.
So if you want your kid, if you want to be involved with the kid, just like focused on what they're doing. I'm not gonna be doing my own thing because I'm kind of like doing the presentation for you guys. But really the best way is you're painting right next to each other. So many times I'll be sitting there with my own little handle. I gotta make sure I don't ruin my model. My own little handle and painting, and she's over there with her handle and painting, and we're doing our thing together. Right? We'll sit at the dining room table. We'll have all the kids all together. She has 2 older siblings. There's 3 of us, or 4 of us, including myself. And there'll be nights where we'll just all sit around the table and paint our own things. Aiden, the eldest, he's really into the Stormcast and Orc, so he'll do those.
Oldest.
Yeah. Nadia, she's really into the Night Haunt. So we got a bunch of ghosts over there. She really liked it because it looked like Harry Potter stuff. So that was like her connection to it, which was kind of cool. Aiden, he liked the orcs because it was more fantasy.
I haven't picked one.
And Maggie hasn't picked one yet, but we're getting there.
Yeah.
We went through the Games Workshop page and she picked out a bunch of stuff. I actually had a couple of those models already. So she's gonna be a Canite Shadow Stalker army. The snake people.
Oh, I like snakes.
I know you do. Alright, so you ready to get started? Alright.
You hate snakes.
One important thing we have to make sure... I don't like snakes that I can't see. One important thing that I really have got into her help... Actually, before I continue, make sure that your kid is wearing something that it's okay if they get paint on. Because they get paint on this... It's okay. They will get paint on themselves.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. I think you've worn more than you've painted on models whenever you were younger, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So she's got this shirt on. We've got a rag on her lap. Nice, dirty, old bleach-stained rag that can get paint on it. I've got clothes that I'm okay with paint getting on because it's gonna happen.
I used my makeup on this one.
You did. And then a surface that is okay. Like, we lay out, newspapers. Here we have the painting mat, just because this is where I stream from. But when we're in the kitchen, whenever we're painting, she uses a newspaper. Okay. First, we need some paint. You could do this yourself if you want to. Or you can kind of teach the kid to be able to do it. She's kind of got it down now, but for the sake of expediency, I'm going to be doing it. We really encourage... What's our saying?
What?
What's our saying when it comes to how much paint we use? Do you remember?
No.
Not a lot, just a...
Dot.
Not a lot, just a dot.
My art teacher taught me that, and she also taught... Yeah.
We've been saying that for a long time, so we're on the same wavelength.
Yeah. And,
Okay.
my art teacher told me, let it drip and paint the lip of the cup.
Let it drip and paint the lip. Interesting.
Let it drip. Don't just go like that because it splashes everywhere.
That's true.
And then paint the lip.
Yep, and as you can see on this, we painted that lip a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, are you ready to get started?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so go ahead. Get your paint in there. We want to make sure that we don't have a lot on the brush, right? Yep, so wipe some of that off so it's nice and that's good.
Yeah.
So then hold it with one hand. Now let's see, we got to find, well, we're looking for the skin. So you got the hands, right? Oh! Did you paint the face? You got the face. Well, guess what? The face is supposed to be gray anyway. Great job. Hello, little one. So your kid is going to mess up, and it's not about painting things right. Because if they screw up, they screw up. Just keep encouraging, praising. Praising is big. Like, great job. No, praise is going to be the most important thing. All right, go lay down. Go climb. Climb. Praising is going to be the most important things to make sure these kids are interested. Because if you're like, oh, no, not there. What do you, stop.
What?
That's not going to get them engaged. It's going to push them away more. It's going to be so important that they love this as much as you do. We're not going to force it on them. We're like, you gotta like this. That's not the mindset that we want to go into. We can keep doing this, and maybe they're not going to gain that interest, and that's okay too. But one thing that we really cherish is making sure that she's experiencing every possible experience she can, because she's going to get her own interests. She's going to catch on to some things. But as long as you two are having fun, you're going to increase that opportunity that she's really going to get into it too. So we've got some...
Or he.
Or he, yeah. I'm using she because of you. So looking good. What we got so far? We've got a face on there. We've got some horns.
Put the picture back up.
Oh, put the picture back up. That's right, because you're referencing the picture. Well, I wanted to make sure we had the model in the picture.
Yeah, it's in the picture. Silly.
Yep. If you need more paint, go ahead and put some on there.
I'm not doing it in this pile. I'm doing it in these 3 piles.
Okay, that works.
Because I don't want to get a lot.
Right.
Just a dot.
And that's another important thing, is making sure that they are doing the things that they want to do them. Watch your hair. I don't need gray hair. I have enough gray hair myself. Making sure that they are doing the things that the way that they want to do them. Because if you're telling them, well, that's not right, you got to do it this way, you got to do it that way, you got to do it this way, that's really kind of taking their freedom away. When you start taking away their freedom, they're not going to be as interested. So like she kind of has gray in multiple places on this pad, and that's okay too. If she wants to color this a certain color or that a certain color, let her do it.
Dad, time in recess, do you remember those like warm dog things?
Warhammer dogs?
Those dog thingies?
Mm-mm.
Like the doggies have like kind of like human fingers.
Dogs like werewolves?
No, not werewolves.
Dogs with human fingers.
It's a Warhammer one.
Warhammer. Do I have them?
Yeah, I saw.
I'm sure you did, and I'm sure I do, because you have a fantastic memory.
And
if we find them one day, you're gonna have to be like, Dad, these are it. This is what, and I'll be like, absolutely.
And Dad, and I played them. I was acting like one at recess one time.
Oh, that's funny.
I got really into
Her teachers
it.
probably think she's so strange, but that's okay because I fully embrace it. It's another, like, just making sure that they're going at their own pace. Don't rush them. Like, okay, come on, like, do it. Or if they're going too fast, that's okay. You want them to go at their pace. That's why you kind of doing your own models side by side is kind of helpful, because
okay, I'm done with this.
You're done with the gray?
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure? Let me check it out. Let's show the people. You got the face. You got the horns. Okay. Let's take a look at your picture. Is there anything else that you see that you want to make gray? Woo!
I caught it.
Yep, the model dropping is going to happen a lot.
Oh, like down here.
How about the arms? Do you see some on the arms? Do you want to paint your arms gray as well?
Oh yeah, I did not see that.
Okay.
I'm actually gonna leave. I'm gonna do this part.
Okay.
But leave the rest that color. Outfit.
Outfit. Okay. And you know, we do shades and highlights and all that stuff. They're not there yet. I'm actually gonna, in a future video, I'm gonna to work on teaching her how to do shades and highlights as well. But our big thing right now is just getting those base coats down. We got the grays. We're doing the grays right now. We've got some greens, some yellows. We're gonna work with what we got.
Emery's sister is a great artist.
Mm-hmm.
Because she does shades and highlights.
Does she do shades and highlights? That's pretty
Mm-hmm.
cool. You'll get to that level.
I will.
I'm gonna teach you. We're gonna teach our friends out here too.
And she taught Emery.
Did she? Now, one of the hardest parts about doing this, working with your kids, is when they're experiencing frustrations. Like, okay, we might experience some frustrations ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
You best be controlling those frustrations. But whenever our kids experience their frustrations, it's how we kind of help them get through that. That is going to be one of the most important parts of that. It's so gross. Of them getting through it. I know I'm saying a lot of most important parts, but I feel like there's a lot of important things that we have to experience when we're painting.
I was about to go back.
Oh, good, because you haven't been. It's just how do you help them through their frustrations?
Okay, I'm done with that color.
You're done with that color? Did you do all the biceps? Are you doing that part gray?
No.
No? What color do you want to do those ones? Or is that going to be a shirt? It's going to be a shirt? Okay, cool. Anything else you want to be gray?
Nope.
I could be blue, I could be green, I could be violet skies. Okay, clean that paintbrush off.
Already did.
Okay, go ahead and set it down. What color are we going with next?
Let me see. Brown.
Gonna go brown. As you can see, like I was in the middle of trying to talk about frustrations and how to work with that. But she was ready to move on. I gotta get this paint off. If you make them wait, yes, we want to work on patience and going through all that. But if you're making them like sit there and wait because we're sitting here talking about something else or you're doing your own thing, they're gonna start getting bored. They're gonna start pulling away. So we will come back to what are we painting brown? I don't know how much we need. We will come back to the frustration conversation, but I wanted to make sure she got her paints in first. Thiners, you need to go lay down. I know, you hear people talking, so you want to be involved.
I know, but not.
Look at all her gray hairs. Look at your gray hairs. All right, climb. Climb.
Oh, yeah.
Climb.
I'm going to make it more gray for you, theaters.
Yeah. Climb. Go.
Whoopsies.
All right, so you want to get started with your browns while I keep talking to the people? Find yourself a brush. What are we trying to paint? We need a small brush. How small can we get? Oh my goodness. When we're done with this video, you're getting some medicine. I think this one might be your best bet.
I just use that one.
Oh, is that the one you just used?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, my dear, I think that was our best bet.
This one's our best
Here.
bet. Ooh, good one.
There we go. Brush down.
Right.
Yep.
I need to get it. Why do you use your mouth on the paint?
Why do I use my mouth? Because it's a bad habit that I have. I shouldn't be eating my brushes. I do it to like kind of make the tip sharp and wet it a little bit. Don't teach your kids that. I always did that while I was painting, and then the one day I looked over and she's sitting there just putting paintbrush is in her mouth and then painting. I'm like, oh, okay. Lesson learned. They will pick up what you're doing. So if there is a habit that you don't want them doing, be attentive. Be attentive of yourself and your own actions because they will pick it up. And that kind of goes back to those frustrations where, if you're getting frustrated and you're not handling your frustrations well, how is your kid or the child going to respond? They're going to start expressing their frustrations in the same way. So we got to be role models and express how we want them to be expressing themselves. So if I have a frustration, what are some good ways that you can handle it? You had a frustration earlier, or well, we both kind of had a frustration earlier.
Yeah.
She was very anxious, not anxious, but she was very excited, and really wanted to get it. So she was kind of all over the place and crazy and jumping around. So I was getting a little frustrated, right? Because I was just like, oh my goodness, child, just chill. And you were just full of emotion. Yeah. Yours was a lot of positive emotion because you were excited. Mine was like the frustrating emotions. So what was a skill that you used? You had a lot of emotion, so what did you do?
Breathe.
You were taking some deep breaths, right? So that's something that works for her. So knowing your kid, knowing what kind of skills. There have been times for her where she was getting so frustrated because she just couldn't paint something the way she wanted it painted. She's a bit of a perfectionist. So she wanted something to be exactly the way she wanted it. Wasn't working. And we just had to take a minute away, right? Brushes down. Let's go to the other room and we'll come back. Do you need a paper towel?
Yes, I do.
Okay, here.
At first.
Yep.
Then I need.
So just finding those different ways that they can.
I just need to dab that really quick.
Just a dab? Mm-hmm. Here, I'll hold this for you. Got it? Cool.
There we go.
Too much paint on there before?
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. So yeah, just taking a minute away. You can come back to it when we're done. Another frustration that she experiences is whenever it is time to be done and go to bed, which is going to be very soon. Then she's like, I don't want to finish. I want to keep doing it. And that's when we kind of talk about, well, we can't finish now. When can we come back to it? Tomorrow.
If it's not tomorrow, if it's my mom's day, then next.
Yep. There's always a next time, right?
Or next weekend.
Yeah, next weekend. Easter weekend's coming up. So we'll have some free time. Right?
I actually kind of like this.
That's pretty cool. Now, as far as the adult frustrations, I kind of went off and did something else. I started. What did I do? I don't know. I think I went and cleaned the kitchen or something. Like, all right, you know what? I could tell that, I'm not regulated. My emotions aren't where they need to be productive and cohesive. And I took a minute. Like, all right, I can come back to this. This is not something that needs to be focused on right now. Right? You weren't doing anything that was hurting anybody. You were just excited.
Thanks for that.
You were just excited, but I was trying to get things organized. But then we came back and look at where we're at now. We're good. We're chatting, having a good time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, we're not going to sit here and watch her paint through this entire thing because it is bedtime, right?
Yeah, we'll do it
Got
tomorrow.
school tomorrow.
Yeah.
You're not with me tomorrow.
Oh. I'll be next week.
Yep. So we'll come back next week, finish it up. So you will see the finished model when we start to get to shading and highlights. But we'll be back and we'll get to that, right?
I'll just paint it over with.
Yeah. So while she's continuing on the brown, I kind of want to talk a little bit more about what our plans for the future is for this channel. I think your brush is a little wet, darling. Why don't you dry it off a little bit? Here, we'll do that. We'll do a squeeze. There you go. Here. Do you want me to dab that off, or do you want to dab it off in the back?
Dab it off.
Who? Me or you?
I don't know. You.
Okay. There's just a lot of water on there, so it's not going to stick very well. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, you know your child's learning styles. They're woo, you almost lost it. Um, so what might work for her might not work with the kid that you're working with, but you'll learn that through this process as well.
But that's okay.
That is okay.
I'm trying to paint the rocks, but
Oh, on the armor, that is metal. That is like a metal armor.
I don't know.
It's okay. Hey, it's your work. Hopefully next time that we come back to this video, she's going to be feeling a lot better. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I swallowed an eggshell.
Ew. So yeah, the direction we're going to start going with these videos is, we're still going to be doing our Warcry videos. But we're going to start kind of going towards like kids and hobbies, the painting stuff, how they're not professionals. They're not going to watch those, videos of the YouTube artists that have all the skills. Yeah, she plans to, with all their high skills and stuff. But our goal here is to kind of help kids get into the hobby, right? Do you have fun painting?
Yeah.
What's your favorite part about painting? Being done? Like, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore?
No,
is that what you mean?
No, like, I like to see the model.
Oh, you like to see it all finished? What do you enjoy about us painting together?
We're together.
That we're together? We're just spending that time together? I really enjoy that too. Some other things that we're going to start getting into is, one thing I noticed about Adepticon is that there was a good amount of kids there. There was a couple little kids, a lot of like preteen, mid-teen. Whoop. And that's why we have this towel. Preteen and kid.
Got it.
But
got it.
A lot of them, like the kids were just following the parents around, or they were sitting around on a tablet with not a whole lot to do. There is a board game section where you saw a lot more of the families getting together.
None.
I saw one girl, she was kind of sitting there on her phone the whole time, kind of bored out of her mind.
Who?
I don't know, somebody at Adepticon. But the thing that stood out to me the most about it was there wasn't a lot of demos geared towards, kid-friendly games.
With this.
You're done with the brown? So despite how many kids were there wasn't a whole lot of games that, were kid-friendly stuff. It's a lot of wargaming stuff, but I really feel like we're missing out on an introduction to the kids into the hobby.
I like this.
So what we're going to be doing is kind of exploring the different games that are out there that they can play. Oh my goodness, child. The kids can really get into the hobby. What kind of board games are good, gateways into... Maybe you need to stop talking. Good gateways into the wargaming community. I was already telling a couple of the guys from the Warcry, that's good, community, like, they need to watch out for her. If she's already getting into the Warcry stuff at this age, she is going to be giving people a run for their money when she's older.
Oh, this needed shaked.
It did need shaked. It's okay. It's good enough. You dropped the paintbrush again.
Paintbrush, come back here.
So, what kind of good games there are? Small World is one that really comes to mind. So I think we're going to explore Small World to see how kid-friendly that one is.
Yeah.
And a bunch of other games. We're going to do some demos of Warcry at, her level. What you can do to modify games to kind of get your kids more involved.
Try to mix this.
You are trying to mix that. Remember, you have to make sure that you get all that paint off that paintbrush, though, before you start using it. Because you're going to you don't want that big, thick blob, right?
Yeah.
Careful your mouth. Are you painting the whole pad? So yeah, I would love to get more kid involvement and kids getting into, to enjoy the hobby like we do. There's a lot of family out there that's like, I just wish my kid was into it.
Not all of you.
Oh no, a lot. So what can we do to kind of tickle our kids' interest to see if this is something that they really would enjoy? Because if we dive,
there was one more thing that was great.
What? Oh, the rocks? Yeah, we can come back to that.
Yeah.
Focus on the green. Because you got that on your brush right now. So, I look forward to seeing where we're going to go with this. You're a lot of fun to hang out with. People that are in our Discord that know anything about her, she is quite a riot. Huh.
Yeah.
What is that? What is that?
Mm-hmm.
It means you're funny. Yeah, you are. So our videos are going to be kid friendly. We're going to, sit down, hang out with us while our kids paint. Maybe your kids can sit down while you're watching these videos and paint. So it's definitely a little different from where we're used to with our videos with all of our paint competitions in the past. But here, do you want this? Dry off. Too wet.
I need the.
Want the other green?
Mm-hmm.
No, we're gonna take a break, okay? Because it is bedtime.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
You're good with that? Good job. I like how you accepted that. Remember, praise, praise, praise. You've got the Butterfingers going on.
My Butterfingers are bad.
So, key takeaways: making sure that you are praising the things that they are doing, even though it might not be to what you want it to be. When they're focused, they're attentive, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. That looks great. What are you doing? Did you get green all over yourself? Let them know that you're enjoying that time with them. You're so smart. They're going to experience frustrations. How do you work through those frustrations? What can you do to best support them? Maybe we'll do a little video on, helping kids through frustrations.
Yeah.
Paint in your hair.
Oh my.
It will get everywhere. So praise, praise, praise. Accidents happen, mistakes happen.
Mm-hmm.
How do we handle frustrations? They're not at the level you're going to want them to be at. Accept the level that they're at. Do their encouraging. Like I said, this is where we started.
Yeah, not so good.
Not so good. Hey, you were like 4.
Yeah.
Painting on a budget. They don't need the most expensive tools, right? Eventually, you'll get to my level of paint over there.
Yeah. It's over there too.
Over there, I got paint everywhere.
And
what else? What else do you think is important?
Where did it go? That's orange.
That is orange. We didn't even use orange. How did I get orange on my? Oh, I think that was from moving that part from my car. To scrap it. The big round one that I had. It's called a rotor. I was carrying that out to Papa's garage. What do you think is some of the most important things for kids that they should know about getting into this hobby?
What?
What do you want to tell the kids that is important for this hobby, or what are some of the things that you enjoy the most?
I love painting with your family.
Painting with your family, getting the family involved.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What else?
Mistakes happen.
Mistakes happen. The great thing about paint, something that you can remind your kids is like, we can see here, she kind of got some brown on the gray, right?
Uh-huh.
Is it ruined?
No.
How do we fix it?
Just do another layer. We're gonna do another layer anyway.
Yeah, we're gonna do a couple layers to make sure we get it all in there. Yeah, so we'll go back over that that brown with some gray, to make sure we get that color all lined up.
And there's some over here.
Oh, you got some green and browns right there on the staff. So we got some overpaint. It's definitely gonna happen. Still happens to me as an adult. But just reminding them, hey, It happens. We can fix it. It's easy. Not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem.
Not a problem.
Not a problem at all.
You could start with the Reaper miniatures. There's so many Reapers that we have around the house specifically for this. I think this was $5. Ooh, careful. Yeah, I think this guy was $5.
I actually previously did that.
Yeah. Local hobby stores will have those models for you if you don't have them. Reaper. I like how we both had the same reaction. But yeah, no, Reaper has a great online website that you can get a lot of the cheap stuff for. And you want to make sure that the kids are picking out the different kind of models that interest them. So whenever bless you.
Bless you.
So when she started getting into the bigger models, when we start getting past, little army men, taking her to the store with me, like, what do you like? If it's something at a budget, like, hey, a little much. Let's try something a little bit smaller. You don't necessarily have to say, no, that's too expensive. You can always go a roundabout way of explaining it, like, hey, that's a really cool model. You want to, hey, I like that you're interested in that. And then kind of take that step back and
say that you can get it next time if you see it when you're older.
There you go. That's a good approach. That's something that stuck into your head. That is something I say. Like, yeah, that's a really cool model, but that might be a little bit too out of our range right now, our skill range. But once you start working on it, maybe that's something we can look at later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I know that finance can be a little bit of a sensitive subject for some people. So you don't want to be. They're not comfortable being like, that's too expensive. Bless you. So if saying she's saying a chew into my ear. So like hang on, let's finish so we can close out. So if saying like, hey, that's too expensive. If that doesn't make you can there's ways around it. It's all about wording and phrasing. So we're gonna be making all these videos, and she's gonna learn all my secrets of being a dad and the things that I say to her. Yeah. We're at 45 minutes of recording, so this is about the stage that she starts getting silly. Go lay down, dog. Any final statements for the people? Yeah, have fun.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.